Okay, so we're going to look at the brutal facts, and we're going to use the brutal facts to help us set a vision for the work. See the vision of our teams, our churches, our networks of ministries and networks of churches. Really, the vision for those works needs to be informed by the facts of where we're at as a nation and of lostness in our communities. So we just use the brutal facts. So let's take a look at this. So we're going to think about a location, okay, and we're going to take the whole of the UK today just to model this for you. All right, and we're going to think about the population, all right, of the UK, which at the moment, that's 66 million. All right. And we really want to be thinking of that population here in the UK. What's the percentage of people that we would describe as far from God? We want that to really inform our vision, for us to get a clear view of the task before us, of the work that needs to be done. Now, it's not going to be simple just to come up with, a very clear piece of data, but there's a piece of research from faithsurvey.co.uk, okay, and they put church attendance in 2015 at 5% of the population, and that includes all denominations. 5% church attendance, and I think that's minimum once a month. So it is what it is. And that's going to translate into a number of 62.7 million people far from God. So this gives us an idea of the task. And we want to really just begin to think, could we set a vision for 10% of those people far from God, really as new disciples? Okay, we could think about 10% really as a tipping point or a turning point within any community. So just maybe 10% of new disciples, and we're not just talking about church attenders. We're talking about disciples committed to taking the gospel to everyone they know and to every person in our nation. We're talking about disciples who make disciples of others. So 10% of that is 6,270,000. Wow, that would be amazing, wouldn't it? To see 10% of new disciples in our country, or the countries of the UK. And of course, if we begin to see that, we're going to see churches grow. But let's also just think, there's probably not going to be enough churches. If we're seeing that many people come to know the Lord, there are going to be new churches popping up in streets, in neighbourhoods, on estates, in villages, in towns, just all over the place. So let's just think for a minute, what if we were to put all of those new disciples into new churches? And again, we're not talking about churches where these people simply attend and are cared for and looked after, but really churches committed to multiplication and reproduction. So these are churches that would plant churches. Okay. Now, the global average size of a local church is 64 people. Okay. So if we were to put all of these people into new churches, we're going to need somewhere in the region of 97,968 new churches. So that's a huge task. And what I'd love you to do, just with your partner now, is two things. I'd like you to redo this with each other, but maybe you want to change the location to your town, your village, your city, and just find the numbers for your location in exactly the same way that I've done. Do that together, and then ask yourself this question: how does this make you feel? How do these brutal facts make you feel? And then we'll come back and do part 2. Thanks everyone.